Greetings from Cybertron. This is SoundJack here with a review of the Transformers The Last Night Voyager class Decepticon Nitro. Or if you watch the movie, Nitro Zeus. So, yes, he is one of the few Decepticons that actually, from the last night, that actually got recognized in toy form, appearing in the third wave of the Voyagers for the toy line. He turns into a nice big Decepticon jet, and his robot mode is very nice, and his jet mode looks very nice. And while I haven't heard there being a whole lot of issues, I do have some problems with this jet mode that makes it not as good. But I believe it's more so an issue with mine, or that I'm just doing something wrong and I can't figure it out. But the jet mode doesn't hold properly together for me in a few places. But we'll take a look at that when we get to that. I'll talk more about that when we get to that. But right now, let us take a closer look at the jet mode, which is nose cone wasn't pushed in all the way. There you are. Yeah, he is a very nice jet. If I recall correctly, this is not actually accurate to his on-screen portrayal, but I mean, you probably saw his jet mode for like, what, 2 seconds? So, hey, it's a jet. I like it. It looks very nice. It's big. It's meaty. The front half, the entire cockpit nose cone section is painted black. And you got a very nice, clear cockpit window going on in there, which actually, well, I should have gotten into later on, but you can actually open up and fit a Titan Master in there, because there is a bit of compatibility with the Titan Master Titan's Return toy line. And I'll get to more so when we get to the robot mode, but you are completely capable of storing a Titan Master inside that, and you get some details going on in there. You can't see that. Oh, there we are. More light. Yeah, you can see those details there. He's got a lot of nice panel lining going on this black, and on these wings back here, you got some black going on in the back of the wings. Very tiny red stripes on the side, and some nice big black Decepticon symbols going on. And then just more panel lining and a little bit of black on the tail fin. And then underneath, you got a lot of robot bits everywhere. As well as 2 conspicuous engines. I'm not sure if those are supposed to make it VTOL or what. But hey, it makes it look good in the robot mode, so I'm not going to complain too much about those. He does come with, he does have a folding landing gear. As you can see right there, it just folds down right there. And the back landing gear are right there and there. And they also have 2 tiny miniguns on the wheels. But with how they are, they don't really they wouldn't really work in the jet mode, and are more so for the robot mode. He does have 2 accessories, these 2 missile pods, which store underneath the wings right there, and right there. Though with how often these engine bits come off, they might as well count as accessories. When we get into the transformation, I'll go over to try to not get them to come off. But I do want to go over the issue I have with having this guy lock solidly in jet mode, and it features half of the plane. If you can see, this wing is definitely not sitting at the same level that wing is, and you can tell that from both sides, that this wing is not the same as this wing, and that's for a couple of reasons. And the main issue is with this leg. So what's supposed to happen, and I know this because that's how it works with this leg, is that this is supposed to lay flush down here, and then that slot right there goes into that tab right there. The biggest issue I have is if I get that tabbed in, that does not sit flush. No matter what I do, if I try to push that down, that tab is coming out. No matter what's going on here. Even if it looks like it's all the way tabbed in, it is certainly not. And that causes issues with all of this, because then this tab has to go into that slot right there. That peg doesn't like really go in there, but like sits on that and holds it in place. And these bits right there are supposed to kind of like groove into those spaces right there, and you can't do that unless this is all sitting flush, and this is sitting flush against the front, and this back section is tabbed into the jet, and it just makes it uneven, and it just doesn't work. I can get it to work on this side, and I don't know what's wrong with this side, with the other side. Also, the cockpit tends to come apart if you mess with it too much, but that's a minor point. It's just you play with it too much. It does hold pretty nicely. That cockpit does tab in pretty nicely, but that wing just bugs me, and it took me that was the thing that was getting me with this. So I was, well, in part there was a few confusing transformation sets, but that was taking me so long because I couldn't get the wings to work properly. I still can't. So it just seems some minor issue has occurred that I can't do it, but oh well, it is what it is. It still looks pretty nice, and I just gotta not look at it, and I have no idea what I did, but now that just looks so much worse. Yeah, something like that. Good enough. But anyway, now time for some size comparisons. Here he is with Legends class Bumblebee, Deluxe class Chrome Dome, and I will get Bumblebee back in a second just to see how long he is compared to Nitro Zeus. I'll raise the camera up a bit more for the next comparisons. Here he is with Voyager class Megatron. And Nitro Zeus is definitely longer than Megatron. And Leader class 6-shot. And even as a Voyager, Decepticon Nitro is longer than 6-shot, though granted that he's in his boxy form right now, and this is a much more long out extended form. If he was in his jet form, he might be a bit longer, but that's a standard size E, so I won't bother going into the jet modes just because that's not a standard basis I normally have with my size comparisons. But we are right now going to get into the robot mode. So to transform him, we're going to take off the missile pods. I'm going to take the missile pods off like so. Then we're going to take the wings and we're going to untap them, or in this case, just in this wing's case, just fold it up and get that out of the way for now. And we're going to untap the legs, that tab in that slot right there, like I was talking about with the other side, but that one actually fits in there. I don't know. And then we're going to come down and rotate the legs around like so, just since we're going to get to that soon, but not immediately. Then we'll just move these out to the side. Oh wait. And then we're going to come up here, fold the head down into place like so from where it was hiding. We'll take one tab the rear tail fin section. You actually do have to get this out of the way a bit to give it clearance. Just have all of that sitting up there right now. And we're going to take the thruster and we're going to pull it out and rotate it around like so. Then we're going to get the nose cone all the way up there. So what's going to happen with that is we're going to take this assembly right here, and this is going to swing up on a hinge, and then this entire section will fold up on those double hinges, and they will just slot into proper place. And then you can fold the head down, and that will tab in, and then you rotate the head. You got Nitro Zeus's head sticking out there. And then then you fold this all the way back down. Come down here, and we're gonna collapse these on the hinges, and then the bottom sections will the bottom bits will tab together. Just gotta get it angled correctly so as this all sits properly. There you go. Then you're gonna rotate the legs forward, fold the feet out, rotate the legs forward, fold the feet out. We're gonna fold the landing gear, which I should have done before. And we're gonna come to the side, we're going to come down to the bottom nose cone, split that. They will fold up on those double hinges, and they tab together with that tab and that bit. And then they will fold up. Just fold those out of the way for right now. We'll come in here, pull these bits out, and then you can fold the nose cone bits so as they're sitting like so. And then you got that arm all done. And you come down here, you fold that arm down, flip the fist out, angle the shoulders however you want. Now for the last bit, getting these wings done. So we're going to take that panel and fold it in. Then we're going to flip. Like I said, those do tend to come off very frequently. And that's not my copy. That's a thing that I've heard everyone say. But it's a friction joint, so it'll just pop back on. But the easiest way I found to get it to fold in without popping the engines off is to first fold it down on this hinge first. Right, sorry. Fold it down on the second hinge first, like so, and then fold it on that hinge right there, and then it will slide in. Then you take that last wing bit and then you fold it down, and then I like to angle this out to the side a little bit. Then you repeat that on the other side, fold it at the second, flip that panel up. Flip that panel up. I do tend to forget that. Flip that panel up, flip that down, flip that over, flip that down. Then you just fold these back, fold that down, and that slot will go into that tab right there. And it just collapses in. And there you have Nitro Zeus in, oops, I had his feet bent too far forward. Nitro in his robot mode. And that is a very nice looking robot mode. It's rather plain in terms of just the coloration, but it looks really nice. Before we get into a closer look, I do need to mention these bits right here. They are very, very finicky. They are very, very tight when you first get them. You think you're going to break them, but just trust me. Just keep pushing it, and it will bend. And it will bend correctly. It's not going to break. You just need a lot of force to first get them. Even now, they're still a little tight, but they're not as tight as they were when I got him. So that is a thing that has to be noted. But now let us take a proper closer look at him. We got his head going on with a nice Empurata eye, yellow eye going on in the center of his face, and that's most of his face, though. He's got some black going on. He's got some eyeshadow going around that eye, I guess. Kind of does make him look like he still has wearing a helmet, even though the only thing on his face is an eye. And he's got some black horns sticking out. The miniguns I mentioned before end up on his shoulders right there. He's got a lot of gray and a little bit of brown going on this chest, and a nice Decepticon symbol right there. A lot of black going on with a lot of interesting details and gears and whatnot. The arms. Let's start with the left arm. It's got a red 13 on the shoulder. I don't know why that's there. Then you come down here, you got some black, you got some silver, and you got some more black going on in there. Oh, and the thing you can do, if you want him to be more weaponized than he does with his giant jet nose cone weapon thing, you can extend this out to give him a cannon on his arm, which looks very nice. And then more black on the arms. And then the other arm has, there's no number on this one, though it has a bit of I gotta say, this gray plastic up here, it has some swirly textures to it, which is interesting. Some gray, some black. There's the entirety of the nose cone, pretty much. On his forearm, his legs, pretty bland. There's just a random number 7 there. I do not know why. Some black painted gears and whatnot, and some brown on the toes. A bit, and some more black. And then he actually has some weird heels, because those look like toes as opposed to these, which are like solid mechanical boots. This would be a lot more of a Michael Bay aesthetic, so I'm surprised that's not like the front. But hey, this is how it transforms. And then you just got all of this going on the back. And now for articulation, his head can rotate, and it can bob up and down a bit and side to side a bit. His arms are able to rotate a full 360. They can bend out, and then there's a hinge on here, so you can position that however you want. You got a swivel at the arm there. There is a 90-degree ball joint, and let's just double check. The other arm does not have as substantial of a joint, not ball joint, elbow joint. He does not have, the right arm does not have as substantial of an elbow joint just because there's so much on the forearm. He can't bend that far, and he gets 45 degrees on that arm, but it still has all the other articulation. Well, except that this one, if you want, he has a bit of a wrist articulation, but this arm does not have the same wrist articulation. Nothing at the waist for articulation. You can adjust these however you want. I do tend to have them flat so they can just store better, but I'll move them out of the way for the leg articulation. Legs are able to bend that far forward, that far back before you start running into things. Well, actually, you can pretty much get them to go all the way around if you can get the position correctly. They are able to go that far out, a little over full split, a little more than a full split. There is a swivel allowing that to rotate full 360. There is a knee joint right there, and this can also bend, so as his kneecap covers up bits and pieces. And then he's got ankle tilt a bit, nothing side to side, just back and forward. Oh yeah, I said 90 degrees bend at the knee. And that's the articulate art. Oh wait, not done with the articulation, because these engines, wings on his back, I'm not sure what they're supposed to be. They kind of look like engines, so I'll just call them engines. Are able to hinge, so they're able to tilt that much from that position. And they also can swivel, so you can get, there is a locking point, so they usually lock in this position, but if you unlock, however that's being held, I'm not actually positive how that holds together, but you can get it to bend about that far if you want. Oops, sorry. My tongue stopped working and I dropped one of his missile pods. His missile pods, do they store in his hands? That's a good question. You can get them to, you can put the missiles in his hand, but that looks kind of silly. But the real place to store them is on his back, on the backs of the engines. That's not the same storage point as in the jet mode, but you can put them on there and just have him missiled out a bit. I mentioned the gimmick with the cannon on the arm already. Nothing else really happens with the jet arm. But getting into why he is Titan Master compatible, this cockpit is Titan Master compatible, it is because he has a Titan Master compatible head socket. However, he does not have a Titan Master partner for a head. His head just comes off. It's why? I don't know, guess just to add some functionality for Cogman, who is a headmaster. Don't know why. Everyone was like, oh wait, that means there's totally going to be a scene where Cogman comes in the movie, rips off Nitro's head and then just takes over his body, which never happens, and then I don't know why this happens. I have no idea why this happens. It just exists. You are completely capable of putting another head on this body. It's the same port, and you can put his head on other Titan Master bodies. It's just, this is just his head. And also some clear plastic going on in the back, but there's absolutely no light piping. So I don't know what's up with that either. But yeah, that's all about the gimmicks and articulation and accessories with Nitro Zeus. So let's get into some robot mode size comparisons. Here he is with Legends class Bumblebee. And you can see Bumblebee comes up to about his kneecap. Deluxe class Chrome Dome comes up to about the middle of his chest, that black bit right there on that chest. Voyager class Megatron. And the top of his head is that top of his head is certainly shorter than Megatron. The horns are just as tall, if not barely taller than Megatron, and then the missiles actually make him even with Megatron's cannon on the back there. Leader class 6 shot. Let's get them moved back a little bit. And you can see Nitro Zeus comes up to around the base of the bottom of those chest wings. And of course, here he is with Channel's mascots. Excuse me. Channel's mascots Soundwave and Wheeljack. And you see how he looks next to them. Nitro Zeus was one of the cooler Decepticons in the movie. All of them were thought to be really cool with that introduction, but then most of them just died, and at least Nitro Zeus had a little bit of personality to his name. Nitro in the toy form. He looks really good. The biggest problem I have, and I think it's just my copy, is that one side just does not want to tab in together properly. So I don't know if that's an issue anyone else other people have come across, and I don't know if there's like a fix for it or if that's just a thing I'm gonna have to deal with this copy of the toy. But the robot mode is very nice, and the jet mode is very large and neat. It's just a pain it doesn't hold together properly, but I'd say it's worth it. I would say it's worth it, especially if your copy gets the jet mode to work. That would make it more than worth it to get him. For me, that's just worth it. It's worth the exact price that you would be paying. If the jet mode was solid, I'd say that would be a good, very, very good value for what you buy. But yeah, that's all I have to say on Decepticon Nitro. So thank you for watching. If you enjoyed, please like and share this video and subscribe to the channel. You can also follow me on Twitter and Instagram at SoundJack426. Also, please consider donating on my Patreon page to help support the channel. All of the links will be in the description below. Thanks for tuning in. This is SoundJack signing off.